This week on the Jock and Nerd podcast, we review the first 2 episodes of Marvel's latest Disney Plus show, Hawkeye, plus Tom Holland sticking around as MCU Spider-Man, Jurassic World Dominion has furry dinos, new clues about the plot of the Batman movie, Kathleen Kennedy extends her contract at Lucasfilm, and a whole bunch more, all in this edition of the Jock and Nerd Weekly for Monday, November 29th, 2021.
Now listen here, bitches. You say you're looking for a podcast about comic books and TV and movies, but you don't know where to go? Well, stop whining and tune into the Jock and Nerd podcast. These are the only guys you'll ever need. They're jockey, they're nerdy, and they're bitches, like you. So keep it on the Jock and Nerd podcast. You can run, but you can't hide, bitch.
Check. Check 1. All right. This is for all you fans out there. Let's give it up! Jock it, we nerd it. We funny, disturb it. We jock it, we nerd it. We spoiler alert. Oh yeah!
Oh yeah, what's up, listener? How's it hanging? Welcome to the Jock and Nerd podcast. How's it hanging? To the left, to the right?
I thought you were going with the Spidey pun.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. This is the show where we give you comic book and superhero TV and movie news, reviews, and whatever we choose. Jock and Nerd. My name is Imran.
My name is Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's the nerd.
And joining
We'll
us
peep you next time. Oh,
is
shit.
no, don't end the show.
Oh, shit.
Joining us is
Damn
the
it.
guy that used to have to walk Pizza Dog. It's Rug Boy. Hi, Rugs. How's it going?
Yeah, well, it's easy to walk Pizza Dog when Pizza Rat is in front of Pizza Dog.
Yes.
He does all the work for me.
The Pizza Rat will just lead the whole route there. It's
Do you
great.
know about the Pizza Rat, Anthony? The New York Pizza Rat?
No, the first thing I thought of was Splinter.
Well, that's almost all you need is 4 mutated turtles, and you pretty much got. There was a video that was viral about a rat that just took a whole slice of pizza and like ran with it.
It was
And people were
Ratatouille.
just filming it with their phones.
Yeah, there's a famous rat is just booking it with a whole New York slice of pizza, and it's like a huge
Yeah.
slice of pizza.
Immediately, Ninja Turtle references abound.
And he sounded
You know.
like Patton Oswalt. It was very weird. Fucking rat. Dude, New York is amazing because it does have Pizza Rat and Pizza Dog.
Yeah,
Where-
Pizza Rat, Pizza Dog.
Where else are you going to find that?
Well, that's
Pizza
what happens
Possum.
when you freaking put all your garbage on the front of the street.
It's got to go somewhere. There's no alleys.
It's so insane. Like, it's really bad in New York right now. By the way, it's like a fucking war zone.
Jesus.
Because the guy who's running New York, first of all, like is terrible, and
Blasio.
yeah,
I can't.
De Blasio.
I feel like there hasn't
He
been a
blows.
quicker like heel turn than this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Everyone now just not universally hates him, even if you're on the
anybody
left.
who lives in New York and like has to work in New York and like doesn't have like a comfy job where they have like limousine service and shit that actually has to get out there into the city, into the subways and stuff is like, this is fucking a hellhole now. Fucking so dirty and gross. And not only that, but like there's so many rules and regulations that people are just fed up. Everybody's angry. Things are open now, but it's still like not 100% back. So anyhow, I don't know what the fuck I was saying, but it's a fucking hellhole. And
Hang in
it's just
there,
crazy.
New York listeners.
You'll see there's more rats. I was trying to get to, there's more fucking rats and fucking shit than you've ever seen before there.
There's more rats than people, I'm pretty sure, in
Yeah.
New York
There is
City.
that documentary on Netflix that the guy that did Super Size Me, I think, did, where they're talking about all the rats in New York, how there's
Super
definitely
rats.
more rats than there are in people in New York.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, the rats.
It's just gotten worse.
I welcome our rat overlords. I will bow down to you once you take over.
If
All
they
right.
learn karate,
Yes, I will train under them and become a ninja.
yeah, I will take them. I will go to their class easily.
All right, Pizza Dog and Pizza Rat, let's get to this week's news, you bastards.
The Jock and Nerd Podcast.
So, you guys, I'm going to admit something. Even I, after last week's session talking about the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer, was getting a little burnt out about talking about Spider-Man No Way Home and
I
waiting.
think I fell asleep during that.
Yeah, you may have yawned, and yes, and look, I get it. The shit it's everywhere now. There's TV spots. And this week, I had planned completely not to talk about any Spider-Man related news, just to give everybody a break. But I also knew tickets were going on sale today, Monday, November 29th, and that some shit would go down, and some shit did go down. So we have two topics here. One being the crazy ticket sales once tickets started going on sale, and the second being Amy Pascal's comments in this Fandango article that accompanied tickets going on sale. She said some crazy things. Where do we want to start? Let's start with the tickets. Have you guys bought your tickets yet? I think it's imperative, everyone.
I bought my ticket. Yeah.
You did? Oh, good. Mm-hmm. Anthony?
I had my friend that I go with buy the tickets. So, yeah, we couldn't get the theater, though, that we normally go to if we're at a decent time, we wanted to go that Thursday.
Yep.
So but we couldn't get anything at a decent time or a decent spot, so we're going out to the burbs to catch this one.
I have never seen pre-sale action like this in a while. First of all, people were trying like at midnight, 12:01.
Well, at 12:01 is AMC put theirs out,
and it crashed AMC.
Yeah,
and other sites crashed.
Yeah, different theaters were doing it different times.
They're probably going to open up more theaters in like next week.
So that's the thing. And then, but when I got up, by the time I got up and I checked things, it was like in the morning. I was like, oh fuck, let me look at the Fandango. And yeah, Thursday, Friday, a lot of X's, a lot of unavailable, more than I've ever seen on a Fandango thing in a while. So I managed to get 2 tickets. I fucking bought 2.
Shit.
I was
Where
like,
you going?
I was at the AMC. I got it for Thursday night.
Where at?
The AMC in Skokie.
What time?
I think it was 7:30.
Oh, I think we're in the same. We might be in the same theater. Ours is 7:15 at Village Crossing.
Oh yeah, Village Crossing. And the seat that I was able to get is all the way at the end of the row near the aisle.
That's fine.
It's fine, but it was the only thing open. And then I was like, "Fuck, I'm gonna want to watch this again." I bought another ticket for Sunday afternoon at 4 p.m. But wow, I've never seen these tickets sell out so quickly like this.
It's the first movie, like there's been Marvel movies obviously, but it's the first movie that in a while that's just like, it's got the nostalgia thing, but it's also Spider-Man. Like we have to keep in mind Spider-Man is up there with Superman, Batman. It's like iconic.
The hype is legit.
The biggest of the big superheroes. So when you throw that in, plus COVID. And people I'm sure there's still people that haven't made it out to the theater.
There's so many things.
Yes,
there's so many
Yes.
You have to also throw in that it's the multiverse, phase of the MCU.
Yep.
And this is going to delve into that a little bit. And people are looking to see like what the next phase of the MCU is going to be like with this multiverse shit. And Eternals didn't really do much for that. So this is the thing that's going to probably set the tone. So I think there's a lot of like MCU stands that are going all about this for that as well. Not only because it's Spider-Man and nostalgic, but there's a big MCU implications. So
moving forward, there's returning villains.
And I think there's also just a lot of people that are like, more and more people are adopting buying tickets in advance online. I think these records will keep getting broken because more and more people, like there's still a segment of the population that just goes to the theater and buys a ticket, right?
Yeah.
I think with COVID and with the hype for this, it's like, you better get your tickets way in advance. Like I've never really seen many like movies build up a ticket release like this.
Yeah, this is crazy, and we'll see the numbers if they release any in the next few days.
I feel like Force Awakens was something like this.
That was the last time it was this crazy.
Force Awakens and like Endgame were kind of like that.
Yes,
and Batman versus Superman was also kind of it was hard to get tickets to. I remember as well.
AMC was also offering the first 86,000 AMC Stubs A-List Premier or Investor Connect members who purchase tickets for December 16th. They get a special Spider-Man NFT to sweeten the deal. So they're like giving away NFTs. Also, all these reports, and I have screenshots here in our notes. I'll put it in the podcast app now, of scalpers selling tickets on eBay. This is the craziest thing. This is anywhere from $150 to legitimately $25,000. What the fuck?
Shit.
Well, who's stupid enough to buy a $25,000 ticket for Spider-Man opening night? Really?
Somebody who's really dumb.
Well, it's all or best offer also, so they're just going to.
Yeah, they're just. Well, some of these are the ones in Hollywood. I don't know. Who's
sold out screen. I mean,
Chinese theater. This one for $4,500 in Greenwood, Indiana. Who's buying that one?
For Greenwood, I think Mann's Chinese theater is one thing, right? In Hollywood, but
even then, I mean, I wouldn't pay more.
No,
I don't know.
Pay more
$20?
No, you don't pay more than
25?
face value for a fucking movie ticket.
I could see paying maybe $50. Like
There's the 3 theaters in like 3 or 4 on that like Hollywood Walk of Fame, like the Chinese theater,
yeah.
A couple other ones, I forget what they're called, but like those are the ones that are always like, if you saw a movie there, you're like at the pinnacle of movie making, but it's still.
Anthony, you know tickets.
$25.
Are some of these scalpers going to make money though doing this, getting some idiots?
I don't know. I mean, you'd imagine there's people that are going to want to see this Thursday night and would be willing to pay, but I've never heard of anyone scalping movie tickets.
Yeah, right? This is so hilarious.
Especially since Ruggs mentioned earlier, like movie theaters will just they'll take all their entire roster of theaters and just switch it over if they see demand like this.
Yeah, they'll put the movie in every theater.
These are going to be worthless in like a week when they're like clear out. They're like, oh, we could probably get another 3 of these things open and make more money.
They probably will. Also, be careful for spoilers, everyone, because the movie comes out in the UK on the 15th, 2 days, 1 day earlier.
1 day early.
So this is another reason to rush and see this movie, because you won't be able to go on the fucking internet without it accidentally getting spoiled. And then back to the fact that there is a segment of the population that has still not returned to movie theaters. I hear this all the time. I just read this article Variety had based on research this group did. They found that possibly adding vaccine mandates and, of course, lowering ticket prices may actually increase ticket sales, because there still seems to be 50% who are still not willing to go back in person.
Yeah, there is that population that's scared, although just anecdotally, I have no evidence whatsoever. Not to make this a political thing at all, but like you hear about the new Omicron virus.
Oh, yeah, the Transformer virus.
Yeah, the Megatron virus.
Megatron, the Decepticon.
And the general sentiment I hear from like my friends who are all in the middle or kind of left leaning is like, yeah, we're just kind of tired of this new fucking shit. We're not, who cares? we're doing this thing again, whatever.
Yeah,
we're going to do
another
what we want to do now.
They jumped a bunch of Greek letters, though. They went from Delta to Omicron, which
I think there was a bunch of them.
In the middle.
None of those were.
They didn't have the ring that Megatron virus has.
Megatron.
I didn't know Omicron was a Greek letter.
Yeah, it's O. It's technically O in the Greek alphabet.
But the O in the Greek alphabet's like always something else.
Omega is the last.
Yeah.
But no, that's the last letter. So the alpha is the first. Omega
Alpha
is the last.
Omega,
Alpha
right.
Omega. O is like right in the middle. It's like it's just O. Omicron.
Because I remember I went to University of Illinois, and they had the biggest frat system in the world or in the country, and I never remember seeing an O.
Yeah, because it looks weird. It's not as fun.
Are you going to join the Omicron frat?
It's also not a fun shape to have. It's not like a triangle or a cool epsilon shape or a fucking omega shape. It's just
the Omicrons.
The Omnicrons. It's weird. Okay, so yes, tickets are going crazy. There'll be more tickets. Don't pay $900 on eBay. Whatever you do.
The O is always theta.
Theta? That's like
Or phi.
T. Yeah. I don't know.
No, it's an O. It's an O with like
the
a
line
H
through it. With the
inside
line through it? Yeah.
Or it was Phi, which had the O with the line through it. You never saw the O.
Just Omicron. Yeah, so there was no Omicron frats or sorority.
I don't think so.
It's weird.
But someone write in and tell us.
Now when I make my frat, it'll start with Omicron.
Okay, so the other big news coming with this is Amy Pascal from Sony Pictures pretty much kind of confirmed that Tom Holland is not going anywhere as Spider-Man, In fact, she's saying there's going to be 3 more movies.
Oh, shit.
Here is her exact words. She says, this is not the last movie that we are going to make with Marvel. This is not the last Spider-Man movie. We are getting ready to make the next Spider-Man movie with Tom Holland and Marvel. It just isn't part of, we're thinking of this as 3 films. And now we're going to go on to the next 3. This is not the last of our MCU movies. Marvel and Sony are going to keep going together as partners. Okay. Wow.
Yeah. I thought I had read that prior to this, but this kind of confirms it.
No,
yeah.
I don't think we knew exactly what was going on. They were talking about this is the exit of Tom Holland. We all thought he's going to go into the Sony universe, but clearly he'll be in the MCU universe, and I think he may be in the Sony universe. Also, John Watts was supposed to direct the Fantastic Four, so do they get a new director for these? And it also kind of confirms.
I would like to see a new director.
Yes, I think we'll maybe get another guy. I like that idea.
Just change it up a little
Just
bit.
get Sam Raimi back.
Oh, yeah,
There you go.
you got him on Doctor Strange, move him over here. We did hear the rumors of how they wanted to age him up to college age and adult age, and that there's the cartoon TV show prequel that could go. So maybe that's their plan, is they're going to finally get him as an adult. And he will be playing Spider-Man when he's 30, despite what he said in that GQ article.
It would be so cool, but they will never do it. If all of this shit can lead up to Secret Wars, then Tom Holland can get the black goo, which is Venom, right? And then he's in the black costume during Kraven's Last Hunt. Boom. And then he loses the costume and then does the Venom thing. Boom.
Oh my God, that would be great.
But now they've already fucked it up because they have Venom.
Well, what are the odds that Venom is in this movie now? Do you think that she's saying?
I don't know.
She's saying, we're open to a live action Miles Morales. You will. She says, there will be a collaboration with Venom. You're going to see them collide. He got zapped into the MCU. He's probably in this movie as a post credit scene or a small fucking cameo.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't really tell you what. I think he's probably in it, but I don't think he's in it very much. I think it's probably a cameo.
I hope that they don't waste it. I hope they do something that can at least somewhat embody that story that was in the comics where, there was this thing that got attached to Spider-Man and then, wanted revenge. It was terrifying.
Yeah,
Instead
it
of
was
just
scary.
being a generic bad guy.
The only way I could see that kind of working, because they already fucked it up, but I could see it kind of working if they've established that Venom is now in the MCU. The symbiote sees Peter and sees his abilities and is like, oh, if I combine with him, that would be awesome. And it combines with him, and then Eddie gets more down on his luck because of that. So he kind of hates Peter, and then the symbiote Peter just is too powerful with it, so he has to get rid of it, and the symbiote hates him, and then you can kind of work that in that way.
They may do a thing in this movie where Venom, if he's got a small part and he leaves, but a drop of his fucking symbiote stays behind to bond with Peter. Maybe. They might do that.
Is there
now.
an Eddie in that world that's different than the Eddie?
Well, the other Topher
What if
Grace,
it's Eddie Murphy?
Topher Grace Venom Eddie should also exist too somewhere. Eddie Murphy as Venom, I think, would work. He's on a great comeback with his career. Give Eddie Murphy a superhero movie.
Eddie.
Okay, so then what do you think this positions? Who is the center of the MCU now that Tony Stark is gone? Does this position
Tony Stank
possibly Tony Stank, Spider-Man taking over Tony Stank's role?
Well, if you look at these ticket sales,
right?
It could be Kingo, but I'm having a strong feeling.
Kingo ain't gonna sell these tickets.
I mean, is it Kingo? Is it Doctor Strange?
This movie's gonna make over $1 billion.
Ideally, they would want it to be Sony definitely wants it to be Spider-Man because
they wanted it to be Captain Marvel, but that failed.
Yeah, they the thing is, Marvel would also want it to be Spider-Man. It's just they don't make all the money off of it, so they make a cut. It makes sense in within the MCU storyline, because Iron Man was kind of the center of it. He's his surrogate son. He's the one that was a loner before, and then it would kind of make storyline sense if he's the one that now assembles a new Avengers team because he's been through the ringer now and he has the most experience.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I think Marvel would want it to be someone else just because, again, of the money. But
right. I thought they hoped that it was going to be Captain Marvel. The people rejected that. Then Black Panther.
And then
obviously, you know what happened to the main actor from that.
Yeah.
And that put them behind the 8
They're
ball.
running out of options.
They got Thor, but, you know.
So, look, ultimately, Geek Boner. We're getting more Spider-Man movies. Tom Holland's a great actor. I didn't like what they did with him so far, but maybe now they got past all that, he can have some agency of his own, and it doesn't need to be a fucking team-up movie, these next 3 movies.
But he still has Stark tech, though. I just don't
get rid of the fucking tech and the magic tech and all that. Just give him a suit and leave him alone to handle things.
The only thing is, with all this hype, this movie is a tightrope movie.
Yeah,
we've talked about it last week. But there's just a lot of factors that can easily. There's more things that could make this a mess than a good movie.
Absolutely, and Sony is hit or miss, so that makes me nervous. But you got Feige's hand there.
How confident are you in this movie doing critically well?
Kevin Feige would not allow a thing to be that bad where he winces watching it, right? That's really the only thing we have going. If he wasn't involved,
you have Kevin Feige's track record where they've only had one rotten movie, which was Eternals.
Yeah, and that's not even rotten. It's fucking...
Well, it's rotten. Technically, it is rotten.
Yeah, I mean... Yeah.
But, so that is like a good hope for that, but for the reasons I laid out last week.
Yeah.
It also seems like Sony was very much involved in a lot of this. So, man, I'm hoping for the best. I think it'll be a good movie.
Here's one thing Sony did listen to Feige on. They didn't do what I thought was going to happen. Was they were going to
trailer.
Right. I thought there was going to be a new trailer, and they would actually hint that there is more than one Spider-Man. Maybe not show them. They didn't do it, and apparently Kevin Feige is the one that begged them and told them, you do not need to reveal this. So whereas Sony wants to use it as a selling point, Feige saw it as being too much spoiler and to hold it close to the chest. And so that brings me hope that they actually were restrained and they didn't fucking blow their load and just go, blah, look at this, buy tickets. They put out a short promo clip.
It might sell more tickets if you don't know.
Yes, because now you have to go see the fucking movie.
Yeah.
If you had to give it a percentage, a quick percentage, what are the odds these guys aren't in the movie?
Are not or in?
Are not.
Are not? I'm gonna say like 5% they're not in the movie. I'm pretty high percentage that they're fucking in the movie.
I feel like it's more like 30%, but for me.
Because what's his name? Garfield has continually denied it.
Yeah, but he has to. He's not going to say he's in the movie. What do you expect him to say?
Yeah, they lie all the time.
They lie all the time. He can't say. He's not going to say it.
Yeah.
So,
but what? I heard this on Campia's show, and I'd ask you, what makes you think that they are in the movie? What has made you go, yep, they're definitely in the movie?
Fuck, that's a good question. I mean,
I think they're in the movie too. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate.
The invisible lizard punch is
That's strange,
but it doesn't necessarily mean it could be Venom and Doc Ock, not the two of them. Right. There, talks of the multiverse. Of course, the villains from all the other movies. Why would you pull in the fucking villains and not the Spider-Man from those universes?
I don't know. I just think that if this is all an answer to the internet, like kind of wanting this, they got to go all the way. They got to go the full Monty. And if they don't, look, it's going to be a fucking shit show anyway. You might as well go fucking all in, That's all I'm saying. You're going to have all kinds of bullshit and not have that. Like, come on. At least go out like with your balls out, Don't just stick the dick out.
Yeah,
you gotta get the balls too. Like, get your balls out.
Fucking
You just cock out. He's got to go full cock and balls.
You got to rock out with your cock out.
That's it. Sorry, everyone.
And the last thing. The last thing is the runtime of the movie is a little bit shorter than what was rumored. It is officially 2 hours, 28 minutes, 148 minutes.
Holy guacamole.
This will make it the fourth longest MCU movie behind Infinity War, Eternals, and Endgame being the longest at 3 hours and 2 minutes. I forgot Endgame was 3 hours. It doesn't feel like 3 hours.
Love that Endgame is the top, one of the top, or not Endgame, Eternals is one of the top four.
Eternals is right up there at like
They're like
239 or something.
This unnknown property. We're gonna give this all the time.
Well, you got 10 characters. It probably,
and we still didn't have enough time.
Yeah, you needed 2 more fucking hours.
Needed 5 hours.
Yeah. Listener, let us know. Are you excited for this movie? Did you buy your tickets? What do you think Toby and Andrew are in this movie? They're in the movie. Join the conversation. Join our Facebook group. It's called Jock and Nerd Nation. It is for our listeners. It is private. Jock and Nerd. It's closed. You can geek out. Everybody's cool. Everyone's real fun to hang out. Join it today and have fun and chop it up in there. Okay, enough with the Spider-Man. Let's talk about some other franchises that have some things going on. There's other things going on in the world. Like, really? Yeah, like there's another Jurassic Park movie coming out next summer, right? June 2022, Jurassic Park Dominion. So they released online this 5-minute prologue to the movie Jurassic World Dominion, officially released on the internet. If you had seen, I believe, Fast 9 in the movie theaters in IMAX, you have already seen this. And it's not going to be in the movie. It's a true kind of prologue to the setup. Anthony, did you watch this? What happens in this?
Yeah, I watched it and I didn't really know what I was watching at first. So it's like basically footage from the prehistoric times.
65 million years ago.
Yeah,
yes.
When dinosaurs were roaming and you get the Tyrannosaurus Rex and something with horns on it fighting, right?
Yeah.
And then it jumps up to now, and the dinosaurs are, from the last movie, have been unleashed in the real world.
They're everywhere.
Who were they chasing? I already forgot. They were chasing a T-Rex?
It was a T-Rex, yeah.
It was a T-Rex? Yeah, they were chasing a T-Rex, couldn't catch them, and the T-Rex invades a outdoor movie theater.
Drive-in movie
theater. And then you kind of see all the dinosaurs kind of wreaking havoc, and people can't catch them.
There's a helicopter after him. It takes the helicopter down.
Because for reasons, I don't know why.
Just for reasons. Initial thoughts. What do you guys think about this? There's a couple of interesting things going on here.
I feel like I would watch a movie of this and not the other thing. As soon as they went into modern times, I was like, fuck this movie. I'm like, I want to see the fucking Giganotosaurus and fucking bite other shit.
The Gigantosaurus or whatever.
I don't know how you say it. I think some people say Giganato. And someone says Giggity-Giggity-Saurus. Gigantosaurus. I don't know. It's they say that the T-Rex would kick its ass in reality, but
so you see some new dinosaurs. I will say the effects looks fucking stunning. The CG looks great. Looks amazing. And you will notice, and I have an article here, paleontologists, dinosaur experts have reacted to this. You have noticed they are becoming more realistic to modern discoveries of the dinos. There are feathery and furry dinos. There's a little layer of fur even on the T-Rex, which is apparently more accurate.
Well, when you look at the T-Rex from the prehistoric, it's accurate. But when you look at the ones that they made with the frogs, they're not accurate. Because those are frogs. Because on Jurassic Park, they cloned them.
Oh, that's right.
So they're not actually like 100% dinosaur. They're
kind of a hybrid.
They're a hybrid. So they're not going to be 100% accurate. They're going to lose something, and they lost the feathers. That's the way I like to explain it to people.
I was going to say that's a good way of making it make sense in your head.
Yeah,
to explain why
they don't have the feathers.
Because then they cut to the modern one from Jurassic Park, and it's got no feathers on it. So it's only got feathers if you look in the past.
That's a good point. Only in the 65 million years ago.
Or it's just because we didn't know in the 90s that they had feathers.
Yeah, but you can just retcon it. Boom.
Now, is it still that they had feathers, or is it back to not having feathers?
I think it is that they had feathers. Because this guy says it's brilliant to see because that's exactly how we think it would have looked. It probably would have had a bit more than that, to be honest. He also mentioned the position of the T-Rex arms is improved. Usually the arms are in front and tiny, and they would have been more on the side of the torso. not in front of the T-Rex. So they've adjusted that too. But I kind of like that they're like making them as accurate to current findings as possible. The furry thing was great. I was like, yes, they would be furry.
Sure. Well, they would have some kind of quillage going on. But some people say that it's something that they have at certain parts of their life and then they fall off. So I don't know how true that is.
This was directed by Colin Trevorrow, also, who was doing the third one. The movie's probably going to be garbage, but we'll see. It's a Jurassic World out there, people.
I'll watch it. I'll watch it. God damn it!
Can you imagine? He also mentions like somebody said the closest relative is a chicken, and like you can imagine like a giant chicken coming at you with razor sharp claws, fucking 6-foot chicken. That'd be scary. That's scary as a dinosaur.
Dinosaurs must taste good with barbecue sauce.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like you could recreate that and just like hang out with ostriches.
Oh yeah,
they would probably come after you.
Ostriches will fuck you up, man. They don't fuck around. Kangaroos also, we found out from Ethan Cranford at the Discord. Kangaroos will fuck you up. Okay,
those aren't even close to being.
They're not close to dinosaurs. Crocodiles, I always thought looked like dinosaurs, but really the bird shape is the closest if you think about it.
Yeah, dinosaur or crocs. Well, for the longest time we thought they were closer to reptiles, but yeah, crocs are more closer to the aquatic
dinos. Yeah. Yeah, and there's probably some shit deep in the ocean that still looks the same way it did.
There's the idea that they didn't really change much in all this time.
Right. They stayed hidden. Anyways, we'll see. We'll see this summer when the Jurassic World comes out. Let's move on to some DC things. The Batman, Matt Reeves' The Batman.
Mm-hmm.
They've released a full-length synopsis, okay? So we get a little bit more idea what this
full length.
Yes, it's full. There's more about the plot.
What's a full? It's like saying a full length is short description.
They've released. It's not an abridged synopsis. It's unabridged. It's a full length short description. Yes.
Okay.
A full length Cliff Notes version.
That's so fucking weird.
That is kind of an oxymoron to say a full length synopsis. A synopsis is a fucking short summary. By nature, okay.
But it's in full length.
But it's a full synopsis. It's not just half of the movie. It's the whole movie. But there's also
it's a boner synopsis.
It's a boner.
Yes, it's a completely erect synopsis.
There's also an interesting rumor tied to this synopsis. We'll get into it. So,
okay, go ahead.
Here's the synopsis. 2 years of stalking the streets as Batman, striking fear into the hearts of criminals, has led Bruce Wayne deep into the shadows of Gotham City with only a few trusted allies. Alfred Pennyworth, Lieutenant James Gordon. Amongst the city's corrupt network of officials and high-profile figures, the lone vigilante has established himself as the sole embodiment of vengeance among his fellow citizens. When a killer targets Gotham's elite with a series of sadistic machinations, a trail of cryptic clues sends the world's greatest detective on an investigation into the underworld, where he encounters such characters as Selina Kyle Catwoman, Oswald Cobblepot Penguin, Carmine Falcone, and Edward Nashton the Riddler. As the evidence begins to lead closer to home and the scale of the perpetrator's plans become clear, Batman must forge new relationships, unmask the culprit, and bring justice to the abuse of power and corruption that has long plagued Gotham City. That's a lot of information there for this movie. Any comments on that, first of all?
Forge new relationships.
Yeah, see, that part is interesting.
That means he's gonna have to hook up with Catwoman.
The evidence begins to lead closer to home. What does that mean?
The Court of Owls.
Yeah, or Thomas Wayne was doing some shit.
Yeah. The part where it says the killer targets Gotham's elite with a series of sadistic machinations.
Yes.
I mean, that's
Riddler.
Straight up reminds me of Seven.
Oh, yes. It's very Seven. It sounds like a gritty crime fucking drama, right here.
Do you think they're going to have something in a box at the end of this movie?
What's in the bat box?
What's in the box?
Robin's head. Jesus.
No, that would happen in Titans.
Yeah, that would
go right.
Oh, it would. That would totally happen in Titans. You're absolutely
What if they open the box? It's just Domino's pizza in
it. Domino's? I wanted Little Caesars.
Avoid the Noid.
Avoid the Noid. Okay, wait. There's a rumor.
If you're ordering Little Caesars,
You don't have to order it.
Late
You
like
just
that.
pick it up. It's $5.
If you
It's ready
order,
to go.
if you order Little Caesars, you really don't want pizza.
You don't want to
At
live.
that point, well, yeah, what's wrong with that?
You're
You're a
wanting
communist if you want a little.
You don't
Caesar.
even
What are you
order it.
doing?
It's always ready. $5, hot and ready to go. I don't know how that's
Who's
possible.
ordering that kind of pizza?
Some people still like the Little Caesars, the square. It's
People
square.
who don't like to spend money, like on. Like,
I mean, is it any better
wanna
than
get it for the
Domino's?
cheapest-
Honestly, Domino's still makes shit tons of money.
I think Domino's people like it though. People like Domino's pizza.
Well, they got Little Caesars that has fans, I believe.
Pizza.
Pizza. Remember pizza?
I don't think they do that anymore. The pizza.
What?
pizza.
Let's talk about Papa John's for a second.
Why? No, I don't talk about Papa John's.
I don't think I've ever eaten Papa John. Maybe like once or twice.
It's all right.
It's like
Pizza Hut.
Papa John's, and there's little. Okay, the bottom of the barrel is Sparrow, Papa John's,
Sbarro.
and then Little
Sbarro is
Caesars,
really bad. Yeah,
and then Domino's. Those are the four.
but I think Sbarro is a little better than like ordering like Little Caesars.
I used to eat Sbarro all the time because it was a giant slice and it was like $1.50 or something.
Right.
I was like, this is dope. And it was just sitting there ready to go. Give me that fucking slice.
You got to order pizza from like a place that like you can't order chain pizza anymore.
Is Pizza Hut still around? No, you're right. You got to order. There's tons of great pizza places.
Yeah.
Is Pizza Hut still around?
Pizza Hut is like the gold standard
Are they
of
still in
like
business?
not pizza.
Isn't that a weird idea for a restaurant though now? It seems weird. I mean, we went there
What?
to play video games. And
Pizza Hut?
Yeah, and just the idea of it
Really?
seems strange.
They had video games?
Yeah, they had video games, like the tabletop ones.
Are you sure you weren't going to Chuck E. Cheese?
Yeah.
No, it
well,
wasn't Chuck E.
Pizza Hut is like a thing. Like people like think that that's real pizza.
Yeah, it's not. It's not. It's just I don't.
Chuck E. Cheese had decent pizza.
Chuck E. Cheese did it? Fuck
I think
that
so.
place.
What do you mean, fuck that place?
that
Why are
skee-ball
you so
machine.
angry with Chuck E. Cheese?
I don't know. The skee-ball machine always fucking pissed me off. Could never get it into 100.
He's like, I got 100,000 tickets, and all I can get is a
I
whistle.
got a kazoo for fucking 7 hours of skee-ball. Fuck you, Chuck E. Cheese. Anyways, listen.
You motherfuckers.
Enough about pizza. I'm hungry now.
All right.
Okay, so take that synopsis. There's been a rumor going around that Barry Keoghan, the guy who played Druig in Eternals, is playing the Joker in the movie.
Oh shit.
No, he's not.
First of all, I think he would make a really good Joker.
Regardless of whatever that he's going to be a good Joker, he's not going to be in the movie, is he? I don't think.
What is this?
He is a good actor.
He's
but,
a great actor.
Man, that's
Is this the new
Not too much.
relationship? Unmask the culprit. Is this the actual bad guy of the movie? Is the Joker?
on paper that seems like you're doing too much.
So the actor's brother, Barry's brother, confirmed the report in a since deleted Facebook post. That's where the rumor started.
Oh, shit.
So that's kind of
Wow.
crazy. Yeah.
This is crazy. This is crazy.
This is crazy.
It
Oh, that's the wrong button.
It
That
stinks. It
stinks.
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 Crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy.
It stinks and it's crazy. It doesn't stink. I think Barry, what's his name? Keoghan and whatever his name is. I think he would make a great Joker. He's got that weird, dark fucking vibe. I think he would kill it.
Would you want him to have his Irish accent?
Oh, he does. No, he can't have that. He does have Irish, thick Irish accent, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Brog.
He's got a thick brogue. Okay, before we get to the last set of things, listener, check out our TeePublic shop. It's the holiday season. There was a bunch of sales.
Nerd.
Shop and Nerd. Oh my God! Why haven't I had a drop that says Shop and Nerd? Yes.
You might have just created one
I
right
think
there.
I'm going to cut that. Shop and Nerd. Get Jock and Nerd merch swag right now. jockandnerd.com/shop. There's t-shirts. There's mugs. There's tote bags. There's fucking
mugs.
stickers, magnets. There's pillows. There's hoodies. Lots of fun apparel with our logo and
We
fun
got
sayings.
pasties.
We got paste. Whoa, not yet, but I might have to make Jock and Nerd. One says Jock and one says Nerd. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or it's just our faces
Oh, yes, heads each. And then where does Rug Boy go? We got to make a third one.
and the belly button.
Yeah, in the he'll be a belly button, right? We have belly button
He's that little
piercings.
piece of lint in the belly button.
We'll make a belly
That
button.
lint? Is that a rug boy sticker on you?
That's that. No, it's not lint. So anyways, jockandnerd.com/shop. Okay, finally, breaking up the pace. Let's talk about some Star Wars shit because there has been some Star Wars shit going on. Now, much to the, let's say, chagrin of many longtime Star Wars fans, and apparently a lot of YouTubers that were convinced Kathleen Kennedy was getting fired any minute now, that she was done. Turns out they re-upped her fucking contract for 3 more years.
Oh, shit.
Oh, she's sticking around till 2024.
Lame.
Comment on that. We're going to go over her track record and some things that have happened since this announcement already.
Her track record's not good. I mean, like, we talked about how volatile, it's more volatile than crypto working for Kathleen Kennedy. It's like people get hired, people get fired. And it doesn't stop. Like, after all the shit that's just happened, like, it still continues.
Yep.
Didn't, what's her name? She just walked off and decided that there's problems.
Yeah.
The one who's doing Rogue Squadron.
Patty Jenkins. Yeah.
Patty Jenkins.
Well,
That's
first
right.
of all, I think, Anthony, you said it best last week. Her track record as a movie producer is amazing. Her track record as the head of Lucasfilm is fucking abysmal.
I mean, the
Fuck that
movies,
show.
I wouldn't go completely abysmal because the movies have made
That's
a
true.
decent amount of money.
They've made
but
billions.
it's not exactly the roaring success that everyone that Disney probably anticipated when they got this franchise.
I mean, we also, The Mandalorian did great. But yeah,
The biggest thing is the Mandalorian's the best accomplishment.
4 out of the 5 major Star Wars movies that come out since then have grossed over $1 billion at the box office each.
Well, you can't make announcements for all of these things and they don't come out.
That's the thing. And there was no announcements at the thing they did, Disney Plus Day. So, Patty Jenkins. Yes, Patty Jenkins announced. Remember the big announcement? They filmed a whole thing where she's on the runway and she puts on a helmet and she's like, I love to fly. And she gets in a fucking X-Wing jet and she's going to make a Rogue Squadron, an X-Wing fighter air movie. The film has been delayed. Originally, they said the schedules weren't working out, but later it comes out that it was absolutely because of creative differences. They could not settle on the fucking script for the movie. Kathleen Kennedy, Lucasfilm, and Patty Jenkins not on the same page for the pages of the script. So that's problematic.
Right.
Anthony, remember you asked about the Gina Carano show, Rangers of the New Republic?
Did I ask about that?
Yeah, you were like, what's happening with that? Well, that is officially dead.
Oh, shit.
Right.
Scripts were never written, they said, and they couldn't take any of the ideas and squeeze it into The Mandalorian. That thing's done. So already 2 of the things that they have announced is not fucking happening. Now, in this, she gave an interview recently, and she said more weird things. She said that, yes, the sequel trilogy characters, meaning Finn and Poe and Rey, will live on, and we may see them again. To which I say, what the fuck?
I don't think you're going to see them unless Daisy Ridley and all these people want to come back. But I think that everybody burnt their bridges with them.
Yeah.
The guy who played Finn was like really adamant about hating Disney and Star Wars.
Oscar Isaac pretty much said, no, I'm done. I'm not coming back. I don't understand. Like, first of all, I don't want to see these characters. I didn't get to connect with them.
Well, if they come in animation, that'd be fine.
But I feel like she's out of touch with the whole thing. There's no way these actors want to come back as these characters. And she's all like,
they'll be back in animation. That's what's going to happen.
Okay, maybe in animation. I could see
video
that.
games, animation.
Well, I mean,
live action.
We didn't think we would see Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen and whoever the hell else is returning. And,
that's true.
Maybe 10 years from now, 20 years from now, they come back.
But even Hayden Christensen, he now, to see him now would be interesting. But like, I guess this generation, if there's fans of these characters, like if I never see these characters again, I'm not going to miss them. It's not going to be any skin off my nose.
I mean, the thing is that this is some kids' Star Wars. Like some kid who grew up like a few years ago, like that was maybe like 10 years old when this came out.
Wars, yeah.
This is the Star Wars that fucking they blew their mind. They're too young to know that it sucks. And that's okay. Like, I liked a lot of shitty things when I was young and didn't know that they suck. And that's fine. I think it's great. So there is a market for this stuff, obviously. I mean, Rey costumes still sell, and you still people dressed up as Kylo Ren in Halloween and shit. So
yeah.
They're still marketable. I think they're going to do something in animation. I think they might be doing something in video games. who the fuck knows? But and maybe even in live action, they might reappear in some way. But like, I don't think I think the most likely person that's going to come back is Daisy Ridley, because she has no career after this. Like, I mean, it's true. Like, the other two guys doing fine. They're doing movies out the ass. You got Moon Knight, all that shit. No one's tapping Daisy Ridley on the shoulder for anything. So she's dead. She's dead in the water. She's going to be begging to be Rey in about 2 years.
That's a good point. She, and there's a lot of other actresses out there that kind of had the same look and the same kind of thing that are getting these roles. And what's she doing? She did express doubts about coming back. She's like, it would have to be so extraordinary for me to come back. So we'll see. I don't know. In the meantime, we have 3 years of Kathleen Kennedy just making crazy choices and things being announced and then people being fired after they finish the fucking thing.
So why do you think that she's such a good producer and such a bad studio head?
That's a good question. I think think she needs to just delegate more and maybe not oversee everything. Like, she was smart to put Favreau and Filoni in charge of things and then just step away, right? You got to do that. I think she's trying to micromanage a little bit too much.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's tough to say, obviously without knowing everything, but perhaps like she doesn't really have an overarching vision for how Star Wars is going to go, or maybe she doesn't communicate that very well to the people she hires, and then when she sees what they're doing, she's like,
that's not what's in my head. I never told you what's in my head.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's clear from the first Star Wars, where The Force Awakens to Return, what's the second one called?
Last Jedi.
Last Jedi. Like, that there was no clear overarching plan for the series. It was like, we're going to hire these directors and they're going to do their thing. And then they made the second one, and the second one had like nothing to do really with the first one, was like totally like fuck everything in the first one. So like, it was clear there was no overarching plan. It was more just like, Star Wars director, let's do it.
I think that what happened was that she had this plan that didn't work out. It started falling apart really early.
Yeah.
And then she tried to switch gears, and that made it even worse. I think that she wanted to pivot away from Star Wars and change it up. And I think that's why she had Lord and Miller involved and had the comedy aspect and this and that, blah, blah, blah.
It was too different. It was going to be too different.
And then when people, and they had J.J. Abrams, and then, that stuck pretty close to the book and recreated the first movie. And I think that by the time that second movie came out, and it was like, okay, we're all pivoting, we're doing all this stuff, and we don't want any of this. I think she was afraid that Rogue One, the characters were going to survive, and I think the characters are supposed to survive.
Oh.
And I think that she stepped in and she just changed it and like kind of like put the kibosh on. She's like, okay, that movie's one and done, and that's it. So it's crazy. I think she just like it wasn't going her way, and then she tried to kind of like fix it, and then it just got worse. And I think it may not be that there was a clear. I think the idea was to pivot away from Star Wars, and then that became something that nobody wanted, and then it's all been kind of a fumbling to try and find something that is Star Wars, and then Favreau kind of figured it out what Star Wars should be, and maybe now she has an idea of what's working. I don't think that she's going to listen to Favreau because or these guys. She's just going to kind of like let them do their thing and whatever, but she doesn't want to be told by them how to run. She doesn't want to be led by them. She's in charge. So she's going to probably try and like cut everything that she's unsure about. And if anything just to her like smells off and doesn't have interest in it, she's just going to cut it loose. Because she doesn't want to deal with rolling the dice on something. She wants a sure thing. But it's very curious that she's keeping this Alkalite thing. That's her baby.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's another thing that nobody wants. Like, nobody wants, like, I don't care what anybody says. Nobody wants this, like, Cassian Andor series. Nobody wants that. People want Ahsoka. People want Obi-Wan. People want The Mandalorian. Those are the things that people are into right now.
You know what? But what's crazy is with this Rogue Squadron delayed, there is no Star Wars movie planned to come next at the moment. It's all for Disney Plus. What is going to happen with the big screen Star Wars movies? Do you still go to? Weren't they going to give a trilogy to fucking Rian Johnson? I don't know if that's the thing. Taika Waititi has a Star Wars movie. What is the next Star Wars movie? Nobody knows. There's no plan. I don't know what's going on. Bottom line, she made the company billions of dollars, so yeah, they're going to keep her on for another couple of years.
Well, that's the thing, that she's been associated with Star Wars and a lot of huge IP for years.
Yeah.
It does, why not keep her there? She's old guard,
But I think these movies would have made billions of dollars anyways if it was somebody else, because it is just Star Wars. So, with the way it was handled, it still made lots of money. In the meantime, while we do have, that's probably going to be really good, Book of Boba Fett streaming on Disney Plus December 29th. It will run 7 episodes. So right after the Hawkeye is finished, they'll start with the Book of Boba Fett the following week. And it looks like they're putting out some promos. We're going to find out like how he escaped the Sarlacc pit and got out and how he's still alive, which is, I want to know that.
And what's he been eating?
Yeah, what's he been eating to get all the fucking dad bod? A lot of Twinkies and cupcakes, no doubt. Okay, let's take a break here. We'll play some promos. We come back and talk about the latest Marvel show to hit Disney Plus, Hawkeye, episodes 1 and 2, right after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Transmission commencing.
This is Wookiee Radio.
Translated for the Wookiee impaired. I like that Wookiee.
Your hosts, Ken, Derek, and Mike, bring you the latest news and commentary from the far reaches of the galaxy.
Hold it. Hold it. I said hold it.
Subscribe today on iTunes and Stitcher.
I just assumed it's a Wookiee.
Start listening today, and remember,
The Force will be with you, always.
Attention podcast listeners and YouTube watchers. I'm Logan, the host of Mostly Superheroes, a weekly pursuit for the world's best stories with an emphasis on live-action superhero stuff. Every week, join me, PC Mike, The Giggler, Scotty Scoop, and Carrie as we talk MCU, DCU, books, TV, movies, and more. MostlySuperheroes.com is where you want to be. Watch us on YouTube, listen where you get your podcast, and we'll see you Sunday on Patreon. Enjoy the rest of the show.
And Nerd.
Listener, if you enjoy the show, you've been listening, you're a fan of the show, join our fan club. Visit jockandnerd.com/Patreon,
Jock-and-Nerd,
where you can support the show and show your love. Gotta say, huge
Show your love.
Show your love. Got a new one, everybody. Gotta say, huge thank you.
What?
Yes, to our latest $3 a month patron, Milena Alam.
Jock-and-Nerd.
Melania?
I don't know. It's Milena. It's not Melania.
Melania.
It's
Not Melania.
I'm probably not saying that right. It's Milena Alam.
Milena. We
Milena.
have a woman
I
supporting the
believe
show.
that
This
is
good.
a female name.
Oh.
So here's the thing.
Sorry if you're a man.
No,
Sorry.
well, the
Sorry,
last
man.
name Alam, this is interesting because I believe that's like a Pakistani name. And here's why.
Oh.
Here's-
Why?
hold on.
Watch. It's not even close. Well,
It's
let's
your
hear it.
mom, isn't it?
It's not my mom. However, here's why I know this. One of our close families growing up, with me and my sister and their family, their last name was Alam. We still know them. My sister, we're all still in touch. And they came over with my parents. They were friends of my parents. And they're Alam. But the Milena part throws me off because that's not a very Pakistani name. So I don't know if I'm related to this person or they're using a different name or this is just a completely different Alam, which is also a possibility.
Ooh.
Anyways, regardless, thank you for your patronage.
That's right.
Alam is a word in Filipino.
Oh, it is? What does it mean?
No.
Oh, it does.
Like K-N-O-W.
So that it may not be just Pakistani last name. No, as in to know. Okay.
To know.
interesting.
I like it when
know.
Imran's wrong.
But look, we grew up very close friends of the family. Their name is Alam, and that's the first thing I thought about.
All right. Well,
Well,
look,
Last
let's
name's
see.
Alam.
whoever you are, I'm happy that you're with us and you're going to enjoy some great bonus
Yes,
content.
Milena, at her tier, $3 a month, she gets access to a bonus RSS feed where the shows come out early. There's bonus content, post shows. There'll be extra stupid banter, instant reactions. There's lots of hours of bonus things to check out, Malena. And then also, if you're $5 a month and more, you get Discord benefits. That means you can hang out in our private Patreon-only Discord server once a month as we geek out and have a party and get drunk, get high.
Yeah, we get drunk together.
We get drunk.
When is the next one?
The next one, December's Patreon hangout on Discord will be Thursday, December 23rd, 8 p.m. It'll be a holiday party. It'll be after Spider-Man No Way Home comes out, so we can geek out about Spider-Man
Geek boner.
No Way Home and all the crazy things. So sign up for all that fun stuff over at the Patreon, jockandnerd.com/Patreon. All right, let's get into this week's review. The latest Marvel Disney Plus show, the 5th one, is out. It is Hawkeye. They put out the first 2 episodes right away, and we are going to review them now. Here is your spoiler alert.
Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
Prepare to be spoiled!
A little back history, this little setup of Hawkeye, the character created by Stan Lee, Don Heck. First appearance, Tales of Suspense, number 57, way back in 1964. The character of Ronin, created in 2007. The character of Kate Bishop, created by Alan Heinberg and Jim Chung in Young Avengers number 1 in 2005. Now, this show is based a lot on this run of Hawkeye by Matt Fraction and David Aja. This series ran from 2012.
No, I don't
2012 to 2015. It's 22 issues long. It's very good. I have all the issues, and Matt Fraction actually is a consulting producer on the show,
and so is Matt Integers.
Matt Integer and Matt Fraction. What about Matt Prime number? We're making math jokes, Ruggs. Jesus.
David Aja, though, apparently is not getting any money for this. But,
fuck him.
We'll get into that because they are, from the marketing to the storyline, they're pulling a lot. Characters, whole sequences, they're pulling a lot on this run of Hawkeye.
I wouldn't give that to David Aja. You'd give the visual style.
Well, but
he didn't write the story.
They're cribbing that too in the posters and the marketing.
Absolutely,
exactly. Yeah. That's what I'm.
And the opening credits and shit.
It.
He didn't write it. Yes, Matt Fraction. At least Fraction is a consulting producer. I wonder if he's getting paid. Anyways, returning.
Probably, if you're a consulting producer,
you're gonna get.
He's getting a fraction.
He's getting a fraction of what he would have got.
Silly.
Enough with the math jokes. Returning, of course, Jeremy Renner as Clint Barton. Hawkeye.
Barton.
And Haley Steinfeld playing Kate Bishop. And we'll get into the other cast as they come up. Also, interesting to note, in that Matt Fraction, David Aja run, it's a kind of a different Hawkeye. He has a brother and he doesn't have a family. So the Hawkeye we have in the MCU is kind of a combination of the Ultimates Hawkeye. That's what Joss Whedon, I think, pulled from, giving him the family. But then this Fraction David Aja run was like main timeline Hawkeye who did not have a family, I believe.
No, it's completely different.
Yeah.
That Hawkeye is much more lighthearted.
Yeah, he's very irresponsible. He's kind of a fuck up.
Right, and the whole premise is he's getting away from superheroing by hanging out in the apartment and gets roped into things, where this guy is much more serious, family oriented, and is taking his kids out to a Christmas thing in New York.
And then gets roped into shit.
Right.
So let's start there. Anthony, give us the plot. What happens in these first 2 episodes, if you want to summary it? Let me get a full-length synopsis.
Full-length synopsis. I'll just give you a synopsis of the premise of the show in my own words, not a full-length episode 1 and episode 2. I know if that was up to you, Imran, you would go down and you might still be planning to go and tell us piece by piece, scene by scene, what happened. But I'm not going to do that.
Opens interior.
He's going to give us a semi-nopsis.
Semi-nopsis. So, as mentioned earlier, Hawkeye is in New York with his kids, basically showing them a good time before Christmas. This is probably his first Christmas since the blip with his family, so he's doing all he can for them. Meanwhile, a little girl named Kate Bishop back in 2012 witnesses the Chitauri invading New York, and her building it seems like is going to be destroyed when Hawkeye unknowingly kills a Chitauri that might have destroyed her building, and she becomes inspired because of this to become Hawkeye. In the midst of that battle, her dad dies, maybe mysteriously, we'll find out. And she grows up wanting to be just like Hawkeye because she saw Hawkeye save her in this battle unknowingly.
Yeah.
And she grows up, and her mom is rich and is involved with maybe a shady dude that she's looking to marry. And within this love, they go to a party, and Jessica Bishop? Kate Bishop, sorry.
Yeah.
Kate Bishop was sneaking around because she's a little perturbed about the way this man's uncle is talking to her mom. So she's walking around, and she finds a secret auction that gets invaded by the tracksuit mafia, and she gets roped into superheroing herself by stealing the Ronin costume. And Hawkeye sees that there's the Ronin costume again, and he brings back all these bad memories because he'd done a lot of bad shit, and he feels like he needs to kind of atone for that and cover some of that up. So then he gets roped into crime fighting and basically cleaning up the mess that Kate Bishop is causing so that he can go home and see his family. And that's basically the entire long premise of the show.
So this is also, as far as the MCU timeline, apparently this is 2 years after Endgame. So this is like Christmas 2025. This essentially sets this show past anything we have seen or are going, like it's after Spider-Man Far From No Way Home. It's after all the TV shows. I don't know when the fuck Loki is taking place.
That's weird.
Yeah, this is 2 years after Endgame. It's very, which is kind of strange. So that's something to keep in mind. Okay, overall thoughts. What did you guys think of the first 2 episodes? Ruggs, let's start with you.
Well, it was super it was really convenient, and things just kind of fell into place. This character is like doing all kinds of shit and good at stuff. And it's just it's fine. I enjoyed it for what it was. I didn't really hate it yet. There's not enough to hate it yet. It was only 2 episodes and it was fine. You know, it was a little bit, it felt like a little bit contrived, and that's fine. It felt
bit.
This is,
there's a lot of it.
Yeah.
There was a lot.
It felt like, all right, you're making a buddy, movie, and you're going to be buddies, and you're going to help each other, and you're going to say snarky things to each other. It's what I expected. I didn't really expect anything else. So I'm not mad at it. It's just I wasn't blown away by it either.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the first episode essentially is a origin story for the Kate Bishop. It's very Kate-centric. Anthony, what did you think? We're going to come back to this convenient writing because it's the thing that bugged me the most about watching these 2 episodes.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Similar to Rug Boy, I wasn't blown away by anything, but unless you were just living under a rock, none of the trailers ever suggested that this would blow you away.
Right.
You kind of, the trailers itself gave you everything that you would need to know, and the show just delivered on what they said they were going to deliver on, which is kind of this, it's nothing really original. It's the old guy getting paired up with the young girl, and they have so many differences and come from so many different worlds, but they have to team up, right? They have to be together, and that's fine. It kind of delivers on that. It's snarky, not too serious, but street level, so it's kind of a little bit more relatable in that sense. It's not about Wanda and creating a fake reality in a TV sitcom, or Loki time traveling, or even what if episodes, things like that. This is a lot more grounded. So I enjoyed all of that. I like Kate Bishop. I think she's kind of quirky and funny, and she doesn't have all of her shit together.
Yeah.
She kind of screws things up.
Yeah.
I like that the fact that Clint Barton, you kind of get to see that a little bit of a different side to him. He's a family man. You can see that he's kind of just a human. He's got the hearing aids. Things kind of affect him differently. I like the scene where he gets bandaged up and he's just going to the supermarket and he's just got to buy regular stuff.
Yeah.
So it humanizes him a little bit more and makes him, because he's always been just kind of the boring Avenger.
Right.
And this kind of at least gives him a little bit more depth. I would say it's probably a little too snarky at times and it doesn't take itself all that seriously. Like I enjoy shows that take themselves a little bit more seriously than this, but again, it didn't advertise itself to be that, so I can't be disappointed. Yeah, I mean, it just reminds me of like rated G Home Alone.
Oh my
Marvel.
God, it's that kiddie to you, huh?
A little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, the Tracksuit Mafia is very kiddie. My only really big gripe with the show is we're a third of the way through, and I have really no idea like what we're building towards. Like, there's no imminent threat. Like, it's just like, okay, Hawkeye has to clean up her mess. Fine. The Tracksuit Mafias, whatever. Like, we don't really like what made Daredevil, which is what I'm trying to like somewhat comparing it to, although it's completely a little bit different. Is like you right away for like maybe in the third or fourth episode, you met Kingpin and you were like on this collision course throughout the entire show.
Right,
and there's no collision course yet that you want to you are building towards, and that'd be fine if this was like a 10 episode series, but we're at 6 and we've seen 2, so you're a third of the way. You're after the next episode, you're halfway done with the series.
Yeah, that's crazy. It'll be over in 4 weeks. I feel like it's also because it's like 2 parts of this long movie. It goes back to like they're not writing it episodically where, each episode kind of has some kind of.
They kind of are. I mean, the first one ends with him being like, "Oh, what the fuck?"
And then the second one starts right away where the first. It's just they just cut the movie there and then they just started it again. I mean,
yeah, but those are all like the second one ends with her falling through, and you see this debut of a new character at the end, and you're like, "Oh, what the hell?"
There was a lot of things I did love, and I was entertained. There was a lot of things to like. For example, seeing the Battle of New York in that one shot from inside the thing, that was great. That was very compelling. I was like, "Fuck, I love seeing this." From the other direction. And there's a video where somebody's matched up, like they timed it exactly to the first Avengers movie.
And it's a natural jumping off point if you wanted to create origins for other heroes.
Yep. A lot of origins must have come out from.
What did you just say?
From this event. Oranges. A lot of oranges came out.
When your orange is where the orange comes from.
How many oranges were sacrificed in the Battle of New York? I love Kate Bishop is great. It's funny. The lines are funny. I love the gritty, grounded feel. I love the Tracksuit Mafia. The musical is fucking hilarious. Like this thing will give Hamilton a run for its money. It's so cheesy, and just the fact that they're using I could do this all day as like the big chorus refrain. It's so fucking funny.
I love that Hawkeye fucking hates it.
I know.
Actually, I was just going to comment that I liked that they did the musical, but that it also was in a way showing how traumatized Hawkeye is by the whole thing. Yeah. He's like, I can't sit here for this shit.
He gets a moment to think about Natasha, when he's watching it and it slows down. You know exactly what he's thinking about. And they're making fun of it. Oh, what about, we didn't even, like, the graffiti. There's 2 weird bits of graffiti. Thanos was right on the urinal, which I thought was hilarious. But then he has a mug. He's drinking out of a mug that says Thanos was right. A man whose whole family was blipped and didn't know if they were going to come back. And now he's just like, Thanos was right.
Where is that? I don't remember seeing that mug.
There's a mug I saw a still. It's either in the first or second episode. He has a mug that says Thanos was right. Yeah, which is just kind of weird. But the thing that bugged me the most was a little bit the contrived, convenient writing. Like, really, she happens to be at the fucking place where there happens to be a secret auction, where there happens to be the Ronin suit and sword, at just the same place that the Tracksuit Mafia is going to hit. And then later, they just happen to find her again, and then Clint happens to find them to save her just in time. I was fucking rolling my eyes so hard that I died.
Yeah,
that I passed out for a second.
It was very convenient. Also, I found that having all of these skills, being an archer, martial artist.
Yes, let's talk about all the things she does. Yes,
all of her talents, but one of them is not running for some reason.
Yes, she has a funny run. I think she can work on the run. It's a skill.
Call Tom Cruise's run guy.
Yes, Tom Cruise
best in the business.
He has a great run guy. He'll get you going. Yeah, so we learn all from visual clues that she is a medalist archer, that she's a medalist martial artist. She's a rock climber. She's a master fencer. She's a gymnast. I kind of like how in the opening credits they show you her training. And
they just got to make her a computer hacker, and she's got everything.
Now she's got everything. I mean, the knocking down the bell tower scene was kind of neat that she could hit that target. So then we meet this guy. Let's talk about Jack Duquesne. but it's pronounced Duquesne.
Duquesne.
The swordsman.
The
in the
swordsman in the comics. His uncle Armand, who gets killed in the first episode by a sword. In the comics, yeah, he is a guy called the swordsman. And let me guess, the man with the twirly mustache, he might be the bad guy in the show. I don't know. I'm just taking a guess.
Maybe. I think it's definitely he's definitely up to no good. He would probably be one of the weaker parts. He definitely, the way that guy is acting, no human in the world.
What if it's a swerve and it's really her mom?
It's her mom.
The
yeah.
mom
It's
is
definitely going to be her
shady.
mom.
Yes, the mom is shady. She keeps.
The mom also killed the dad. That's my.
Vera Farmiga, man, she was an eco-terrorist in Godzilla.
That's right, Vera Farmiga.
And now she's going on a tear of being evil.
She's too many times. She's like, "Oh, I don't know what's going on. What do you mean? No, he's not threatening me."
You don't hire Vera Farmiga and just have her be the mom.
Right.
No.
She's definitely shady. I also love the little touch where he he gets dinners paid when he goes out because he's an Avenger. That's nice. I like the little things where people sometimes recognize him and he doesn't really know what to do.
Well, I liked all that. See, that's the stuff that I actually really enjoy. Like, I like that some people, the guy wants to take a selfie with him in the bathroom.
Yeah, that's
like,
funny.
that would happen.
Yes.
But then there's also like he's on Times Square and people are like, "Let's go take a picture with the Avengers,"
Yeah.
and they run past him.
I love the Katniss Everdeen joke. I thought that was funny. She's like, "Oh, look, she's you." He goes, "No, that's Katniss Everdeen from Hunger Games." Fucking, that's great. I love Pizza Dog, who has one eye done in CGI apparently, and that reminds me of our last Foster Gus. Gus had one eye. I miss
he
Gus.
like pizza though?
You know what? He probably
would have ate it.
Yeah, he would have fucking ate it if I gave him pizza. Absolutely. He ate everything. He would have eaten anything.
Wait, that dog is complete CGI?
No, the closed eye is CGI. The dog has two eyes, but they closed eye.
Like,
CGI.
that's what I was thinking. I was like, how'd they find a dog with one? How did they find a golden retriever
Here
with
come
one
the
eye?
Twitter tweets.
Boy.
There's so many dogs with one eye.
They could have cast They could have cast Gus. What was wrong with Gus? He had one eye. He would have eaten pizza, no problem.
Fuck you, Marvel.
God
you
damn it.
ableist fucks.
Another eye washing. Whatever. No, I love that they have his name is Lucky the Pizza Dog. I don't know if they're going to give him that name, but they call him Pizza Dog. So they changed it a little. Clint, it's Clint's dog.
What did you think of the Tracksuit Mafia?
Dude, bro, the Tracksuit Mafia, dead on. They had some great lines, and
not very menacing, but kind of funny.
They're like bumbling idiots who are hilarious.
If Ronan was there's a little bit of an inconsistency there, but I'll allow it. Like if Ronan was this amazing assassin, he would have fucked up the Tracksuit Mafia in a day, and they would never exist again.
That's a good point.
But the way he talks about them is like, oh, the Tracksuit Mafia, like they were a thing.
Bro, why are you doing that?
It's like these guys are complete idiots. They literally roll up and they're like, "Hey, Kate Bishop,"
and
just like are middle of the street with no masks, just all in red tracksuits, throwing Molotov cocktails.
That's all you got, bro. Oh, one of my fucking funniest lines where the guy's like, first he's like, "Don't kid, I know you kid," and he's like, he's criticizing us, bro. It's hard to find the place. We couldn't find the place, and then he's like, "Kate Bishop is guy, bro." It's like, what? He's like, "No, Kate Bishop is guy." And Clint's like, "Can I speak to your manager?" This is fucking hilarious. And then
he's like, "I'm speaking to the night manager.
I'm speaking like the shift manager." And then when she falls through the ceiling, he goes, "Bro, I found her." It's so fucking funny. I love them. They nailed that.
I mean, it is like they're a terrible threat. Like if you're supposed to be scared, you're not scared. But if you are supposed to remember them and not like have generic gang goon thugs, then they're doing their job.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it. It's like it's just
which one of these guys is Joe Pesci from Home Alone?
Oh my god, they all look like
they know that someone's gonna get hit with a trap paint bucket.
I mean, they were using the Home Alone music at some points.
Oh yeah, it has kind of that feel where it's a holiday fucking heist caper.
It's G rated
bumbling
MCU.
bad guys.
Bro.
G rated MCU.
Couple other details we learn about his hearing loss, and here
I like that.
It's just from being an Avenger,
which would make sense.
Yeah, wear and tear, and in the comics, like somebody I think actually stabs him in the ear, fucks up his hearing.
Oh, okay.
But here it's just because he's the guy who has no powers, he's got no protective armor or suit. Yeah, his hearing is gonna get fucked up.
Yeah, I mean that quick flash showed I mean he's been in like explosions.
And when he was underground in Endgame, absolutely, that's causing fucking ringing in the ears.
It would be great if they just had like a shot of like Hawkeye on the like in the Avengers Institute or whatever whether they fucking hang out, and like the Hulk burps in his ear, and that's how it shatters the eardrum.
It was too powerful burp. That's funny.
That's what happened.
So then we find out Kate is 22 in 2025, meaning she was not blipped in the incident, right? That would have to track.
It would have to track where she was not blipped.
Yeah. Okay.
I was thinking about that for a little bit.
Yeah.
How does this one make sense?
Yeah. No. She was. And then we also find out he mentions Tony sold the Avengers Tower a few years ago. Lots of speculation as to who bought it. It could be anybody. It could be Oscorp. It could be the Baxter Building. It could be Kingpin. And that's the other thing. How sure are we Kingpin's going to show up in this? Because you got street level grounded gangster mafia shit. Who is controlling this? We do see at the end of the second episode, quick brief image of Echo, Maya Lopez, in a red light that looked like it was from the Netflix Daredevil show.
And she's Kingpin's stepdaughter in the comics.
Yes, and she's actually in charge. She's their boss, as Clint gets himself caught, and then Kate fucks it up and falls through the skylight, which is kind of funny also. I love her line when she's like, I didn't know we were supposed to bring guns. I mean, she had some good lines. Anyway, I think
she doesn't act like a real person.
No.
But it is what it is.
I love the show. Yeah, I mean, this is her hero, and she wants to learn. So I think it's going to get maybe a little bit more serious. It's a good start.
It's fine for what it is.
Yeah, it's a good start.
What it is. It's fine.
But anyways.
The serious aspect, I mean, it might get serious, but I don't think that's like, I don't think that's not what the show is really trying to be.
Well, I mean, they have a whole scene where he goes to a fucking LARPing thing in the park, and he has to pretend to die to get his
the
suit
funny thing
back.
about that LARPing thing, the thing that makes no sense, I didn't mind the LARPing scene,
It's
but
all right. It was funny.
There's one of the previous scenes before. It was all over the news. Oh, Ronin costume, all over the news. Ronin
you'd think
costume.
everybody would know what that
And then this
suit
asshole
is.
is walking around in a LARPing thing with the Ronin costume, and there's like no news coverage of it whatsoever. No one's like, holy shit, you have the Ronin costume. Like, are you the Ronin?
Yeah, the Ronin's here. Like, the Tracksuit Mafia would have shown up.
It was all over the news. Like, this is a big thing. The Ronin's back. But then he's walking around in the middle of the daytime with his costume. And like,
nobody noticed.
Oh, no, you're part of the LARPing thing.
Well, they probably thought it was a replica, a cosplay replica. I don't know. It's a good point. That's a good point. But
yeah, I mean, I guess it wasn't around a crime scene, but still.
But so he has the suit again, right? Yeah. Oh, yeah. He stashed it in the locker.
He stashes it in a locker.
And then he gets himself
He
caught.
stashes it, and he's like, I'm going to need a couple more days. I'm going to do a simple catch and release.
Catch and release. And I like how his wife, Linda Cardellini, she goes, oh, one of Nat's old moves. Which is nice touch.
Well, the only thing they are building towards, so I'll take it a little back. They're doing the time thing where it's like 5 days Christmas. 4.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's six
they're
days
building
to
towards
Christmas
like, is he going to miss Christmas?
Oh, right. There's a ticking clock. He's got to make it home for Christmas. There's your ticking clock.
Right.
Which, yeah, okay.
But that's not as, I mean, that's intriguing, but it's not as intriguing as like a big villain.
Low
that you'd have
stakes
to go
there.
up against. Yeah.
Here's my question. I was confused. Nobody knows that Clint was Ronin then. Like the Tracksuit Mafia guys. The Tracksuit Mafia guys clearly fought Ronin,
right?
And they fought Clint, but they haven't put 2 and 2 together.
Well, Ronin was killing people,
right?
He didn't use a bow and arrow.
Yeah, they don't know that. No one knows that Clint Bar. I kind of like that premise. That's why he's like so obsessed with getting the suit back.
He doesn't want to get found out.
Well, he doesn't want to get his family found out.
Oh, right. Then they're even more dangerous.
If he was the Ronin, his family's now in danger.
Also, do we think Jack Duquesne killed Armand Duquesne with the Ronin knife that he snagged?
It's too on the nose.
Right. That's too obvious. He took the sword, and Armand had a fucking sword stabbed through him. And I was like,
but there's swords everywhere in that
There
house.
are swords everywhere.
He
is the swordsman. Oh, I could see her doing
big bad.
He was threatening her.
She probably killed her own husband.
Or no, well, Jack's still alive.
No, her husband in the early. I think that's actually
her husband.
theory.
Yes.
Because they have that argument,
right?
And she's all like pissed that
he didn't want to sell the place. Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
and she probably killed him for the inheritance.
Oh, fuck! Which is why she's rich now.
Right.
I'm rich, man.
That's why she's marrying this other guy.
She marries into money.
Yeah, and she probably knows that the swordsman gets an inheritance from the uncle, so she kills the uncle
to get more money to do whatever she wants to do. Yeah. She may go up against Wilson Fisk, maybe, or she's part of it. I do think D'Onofrio's going to be in the show at some point.
The only thing is, I wouldn't mind seeing D'Onofrio, but the tone of that is so way different than the tone of this.
That's a good point. He is menacing as fuck.
I mean, he cut someone's head off with a car door.
It would totally change it into a different thing.
And we've got these tracksuit mafia guys yelling at each other and saying that you look like a shish kebab on fire. Bro. Listen, bro.
Bro, yeah, no, it's no good. This is too much here, bro. I love them. It's so good.
You like them a lot because you read the comic.
Yes, and I loved them in the comic. So they did it. They did it well. They pulled it off. And that's what I thought they would have sounded like too, which is always the best when that happens. Yeah, so the action is decent, and we'll see what happens. 4 more episodes.
Yeah, I feel like if you are into the MCU, definitely give us a little whirl.
I wonder because a lot of people, even at work, are asking me, they're like, "I'm kind of marveled out. Is it worth it? Do I need to watch it?" And I was like, "Well, it's kind of fun." And they're clearly setting up Young Avengers. They're setting up the next fucking bow and arrow superhero. So. And Florence Pugh, again, she will be in this at some point. That's going to be interesting.
Right. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, Haley Steinfeld's got potential. You know, as I said, she gets the running coach.
She just needs a running coach.
She'll be good.
They're definitely going to do a Young Avengers. That may be like the next Avengers movie.
Oh, yeah. They're 100%.
Will be Young Avengers.
They've set up everything.
They got them all already. But I'm down, and it's quick. It's 4 more episodes are gonna be done. That's kind of crazy, that it's gonna be done so fast. But you can listen to the full "Save the City" song. They've released it on YouTube if you.
Which one is
it? The from the musical.
Oh, nice.
Yes, the whole number is out.
I like that Ant-Man's in there. And he's like, Ant-Man wasn't there.
He's like, that guy. He's like, this is inaccurate. First of all, he wasn't there. And it's so fucking silly and goofy. Hamilton, look out. This is the biggest hit on Broadway. Like the ads for Rogers the Musical are everywhere.
How long till this actually happens?
They'll probably... Remember we talked about they tried to make a Captain America Broadway musical many years ago. And after
No, but like an MCU musical.
You know what? That's going to happen. Just eventually, once this all plays out, it'll take years. Once it's like an old brand, they'll be like, oh, we're going to do a musical. But it also is, in universe, it's an interesting way to see where their world is. 2 years later, they're at a place where they kind of are nostalgic about this, and it's so much that they're, enjoying
it's been
the
over
musical.
10 years.
Yeah.
Since that happened.
Oh, right. Yeah. So people have...
looking at in canon.
Yeah. Is it them saying people have moved on, and now... It's just like the topic is this lighthearted
Well, I think
thing.
it's just them being so like very like aware of the fact that like if heroes were around for this long,
right,
it would permeate the culture similar to how it's permeating our real life culture.
Yeah. It's very meta. It's cool. All right,
it's very meta, and it's like when again with the scene with Hawkeye, no one recognized him. It's like he's no one's favorite Avenger.
Yes,
it's just this girl is his
except
favorite.
for Kate Bishop. Yes, she's like you're my favorite Avenger. And he's like, get out of here.
You store me in your safe house?
Are we going to your safe house?
Are we going to the Avengers Tower?
Yeah, I love how she's disappointed when they're just at the pharmacy buying fucking, Sporin.
Yeah.
It's great. Okay, 4 more episodes. We will be checking in every week. Let's do some news from the nation. It's time for news from the nation. It's time for news from the nation.
It stinks. It stinks. It stinks.
Short but funny.
And early.
Parts are always
Willie
fun.
was flushing still.
Yeah, well, sometimes the butthole does what it does.
It's not waiting for the flush. It doesn't matter. Got some comments from our listeners from the Facebook group about the Hawkeye. Benjamin Wesley Cranford down in Australia said really liked it, has a great feel, and the opening credits even felt like Netflix Daredevil / Jessica Jones. I like that they just had the opening credits on the first episode, and then there's kind of no credits. The show just goes, even in the second episode. Mm-hmm. Ethan Cranford, this is Wes's son, who hung out with us on the Discord from Australia.
What's up, Ethan?
Ethan's the best. He said, big fan of the Mad Fraction run on this. This was the show I was most looking forward to. The episodes were fun, and so far my optimism was maintained. I like the score, especially the arrangement of Carol of the Bells, and I enjoyed the idea of campy Avengers musical. Avengers Unite as a line in the musical was a nice touch that made me chuckle. And then in a separate comment, he asked about this and answered our question from last week. We asked how old he was. He wanted to know if anyone's watching Young Justice season 4. I've loved the show up until this point, but can't say I'm sold on this season yet. And he says also to answer Imran's question from the show, I'm 19. I was close. I said he was in his early 20s. He's 19. Good kid.
I haven't seen season 3 of Young Justice.
No, I'm kind of. I couldn't get through season 3, and I don't even know if I'm into this.
I mean, I thought you would be all into it because they have a girl in a hijab there.
They got a hijabi girl in the Young Avengers now?
Oh,
in Young Justice.
Watch his opinion turn.
Is it voiced by Kumail Nanjiani, the girl?
Yes,
it is. Oh, shit. Then I'm in.
Oh, shit.
No, I don't know. The first 2 seasons were great, and then the third season, it was just like it didn't have that same kind of...
It's just those side characters, and like the narrative was just so like uninteresting. And I wanted them to get back into like that first where they had like the person that was really a fucking mole, and they had who was doing what, and that was all cool. And this one didn't have that same amount of intrigue. So I did not watch season 4 either. So I don't know. I haven't gotten the inclination to watch it.
All right. And then Blake Braden's got a couple of comments. He's the one who posted the article. Marvel fans are boycotting Hawkeye in support of artist David Asia, with a comment, the latest news on the ongoing struggle of artists and their push towards getting proper recognition. First of all,
yeah, of course.
Do boycotts work, though, ever? I don't think if you boycott the show... I mean, you could pirate the show.
There's not enough people that even know who David Asia is.
That is also a good point. And
there's not enough people that have read the comic that can affect boycotting the show.
Like, I don't know if he gets a thanks. He should get compensation, but these contracts were made.
I mean, if it takes off on Twitter,
that's
it becomes a thing.
And that's what seems to be happening.
That's what you needed to do is catch fire there.
Well, again, we don't know these contracts. Remember, they work for higher contracts, and in 2012, there's no way you would have predicted this was going to be a TV show, 10, 12 years from now.
Yeah, Disney might not be. I mean, they should probably. If you were just running a business with your heart, you probably should pay David Asia.
Yes,
but maybe that's it's clearly not in the contract, and they're technically maybe not doing anything wrong.
Like, I think that the more that there's uproars when people don't get their just desserts for like creating stuff, like we heard about this multiple times with different creators that are not even invited to the premieres and shit like that. No credit given to them, no monetary anything. So, people are getting disgusted with this shit. And I think that something has to change. And I don't know. I'm all for people boycotting. I'm not going to do it, but
I'm not going to do it, but I do agree.
I'm all for, I do think that they are taking advantage of artists all the time, even if they get paid shitloads of money on something. If this thing's going to make money for forever, I was going to say in perpetuity, but
that would be correct.
That's forever.
So, they're losing out on a shitload of money. So
they're clearly, as Rimrod said earlier, although not succinctly, they're clearly aping David Asia's style with the credits, with the title score, like the visuals of those opening credits. That's all David Asia. He did all that.
I mean, there's posters with like a big arrow pointing down. It's the logo is the same logo from the comic series, and the posters are the same. Now, like you said, Anthony, yes, companies in good faith should be good and cut the guy a check. But we know that never happens.
Yeah, no one in big business gets paid just out of good faith.
I didn't make money by writing checks.
Right.
That's what their argument would be. But again, all we can do, buy his series. There's an omnibus. You can buy it in trades. Maybe that helps. It's a great series. Read that. Watch this. The series is obviously it's going to be better than this. It's a different flavor, as we have discussed. And then Blake also sliding into what are we watching? Posted something that's available to watch, adding to the shitloads of things that are out that I can't keep up with. This one, Mark Millar's Super Crooks animated movie, it's a series, it's episodes, is on Netflix, which is something I want to watch, but fuck.
It's on my list. I just haven't gotten to it yet.
It's on my list. What are we watching? I did manage to watch a bunch of things, and I think
so much shit came out in the past week.
I think I overlapped with Rugs a little bit. So before we get to our stuff, Anthony, did you watch anything fun?
No.
Okay. Rugs.
Anthony was getting drunk and doing the right thing.
Yes, he's living life.
week of Thanksgiving is always a rough week for me, and this year was no different.
How was that Wednesday? Was it fun?
Yeah, it was tough. That Thursday, I mean, I wasn't as hungover as I usually am on Thanksgiving, which was a slight improvement, but I still wasn't very happy with myself.
I was still like, what the fuck? I want to die.
Right.
Yeah, that Wednesday is a banger.
That's a big day in Chicago.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's crazy out here.
Yeah.
That's when I stay inside.
I could have gone somewhere and I just didn't.
All right, Ruggs,
you're
kick
an
it
adult.
off. Name one thing you watched and we'll discuss.
Well, I watched all of Cowboy Bebop.
Okay, I also finished the live action
Bebop and Rocksteady. Yeah, that's good.
Yes, with the turtles. I also watched all of Cowboy Bebop. I'm still only 9 episodes in on the anime. What did you think overall at the end? Geek Boner?
Floppy Jock. That's a tough one. I feel like in comparison to the anime, it is much lesser of a good thing. It's not a good representation of the anime in certain ways, but it is in a lot of ways very faithful. So it's kind of like they did some things that were annoying, but I think overall, if you don't know the anime, you're probably going to like it.
Yeah, I would agree. And it was all right. I enjoyed it. I love the production of it. I love the way everything looked. The back half, though, gets a little crazy and messy and hard to follow at times.
I didn't find it hard to follow.
There's a lot of
I
flashbacks.
just felt like
they just kept going back to set things up again.
Yeah, I felt like that they were trying to make something happen that shouldn't happen. Like, if you watch the anime to the end, Imran, which you didn't yet, so I want to ruin it.
But I have a feeling they don't reveal the relationship between Vicious and Spike until the end of the anime, right? I felt like that's what they were doing.
No, that's not true.
Okay.
I think they do it better, but like the thing is, these characters do different things and they act differently than they do in the anime.
Oh, yeah.
And
Faye Valentine's a little bit different.
Yes. Yeah. So like a lot of this stuff, like for example, there's a character that's not in this, that's in it if you watch the anime since the beginning.
Is it the one they mentioned? They just mentioned?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
He does show up at the very end.
Yes, and then that's
I love Jet. I love the guy that played Jet. I thought he did a great job. I love that character.
Look, this is the thing. The show is good, but it's fine. It's just not great. And John Cho does a great job.
Yeah, he's good too. He's very good.
The guy, everybody, even the girl who plays Faye is fine.
Yeah.
They're all good.
Yeah.
They have good chemistry. I like the whole bounty hunter thing that they're doing.
I wish there was more bounty hunting.
Yeah. But I think that the fight sequences that was the greatest thing about Cowboy Bebop, is that it would do this like kind of thing, but then the action sequences would just be on another level.
Yeah.
And it would just be like fucking mind blowing that they did this. These fights are just always so brutal and crazy. And I think that maybe one or two out of all of the episodes are even anywhere near as good as the anime. I don't know. They just didn't. You can't make a show about an action anime without that
lackluster action.
Yeah. I mean, they had some great production design, and I like the ships.
I love that Faye got her ship too, because she didn't have it initially. I was like, oh shit, there's her ship. She got it.
Yeah, everybody gets everything. Yeah. And a little bit more. Yeah. But yeah, Faye's story is more tragic in the anime.
Okay.
You find out that these three people, like, they become a family. These four people become like this family, and they depend on each other and stuff like that. And you don't really get that here. It just kind of, they suggested it's just not done as well.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Well, I agree. It's okay. It's good, but it's good if you don't know the anime.
I'll watch another season of it, but the thing is that they already did the main story. So like, what are they going to do now? They changed the characters and everything. Yeah. So if you ever get to the end of Cowboy Bebop, you'll see what I'm going to
finish the anime because I want to see what the actual source material is, and I want to see it.
There's so much more going on.
Sure.
Yeah. So,
okay, let's talk about sticking with Netflix. Arcane. I managed to watch 7 of the 9 episodes.
Arcane.
Wow.
I really love
fucking
this.
great, dude. It's so good.
I very rarely watch something and am blown away by it.
First off, hearing you say you really love this is amazing because you don't love anything. I don't even know if you love yourself.
let me preface this by I have nothing to compare it to.
Yeah.
So that's number one.
Yeah.
I don't know League of Legends. I don't play the game.
Right, me neither.
It's not my kind of game. It's like you run around and it's like an RPG, but you play with a team. And it's just like sounds like, and it's like an over the map view where you're like you see the top of your head. You know, it's not like my kind of game.
It's the top-down view, right?
Yeah, it's not like immersive enough where I get to enjoy the characters. So, it's not my kind of game. So I don't know anything about League of Legends other than it was a ripoff of Dota 2. So anyway, I was watching this and I was like, oh, first of all, the animation style is like, I thought that Into the Spider-Verse was pretty decent, but it was choppy and it had all these blur effects and stuff like that. Yeah. This does not have any of those blurs, none of that stuff, and it just kind of does this painterly.
Oh, it's gorgeous. It reminded me of Into the Spider-Verse. It does a little bit of when it gets crazy, it does a little bit of Into the Spider-Verse kind of stuff.
A little bit, but this is done way better.
Oh, it's beautiful.
And it's very stylized, and I just think it's really, really great. The only thing I don't like is the way that they do the smoke when it's animated like 2D. It kind of they should have done particle effects for it.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
They do that a lot, and I'm like, that kind of like cheapens it a little bit. But for the most part, that's the only knock I have against the animation. But the animation is just, to me, like top notch. Like it's the best animation, facial expressions.
Dude, you get lit and watch this. It's fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I just want to go into this. I want to go there. I mean,
some of the characters look too much alike, but I think that there is enough disparity. Like everybody's skinny in the show.
Haley Steinfeld everywhere, also voicing one of the main characters in Arcane. Right. First of all, the voice acting is phenomenal. The character development, amazing. The twists and shocking things that happen are great. The overall thing with using science to harness magic and the repercussions of that is very cool. It reminds me of Star Wars, of Game of Thrones.
How do you describe it to someone who's never seen it? What would you?
Because it turned into something I didn't know what it was going to be after only watching one episode.
I would say that
fantasy.
It's a story of a kind of like a steampunk fantasy world where there's like a city that is, it's kind of has two parts. It has the underside and like the top side.
Underworld,
and the top,
and the rich people above.
So all the rich people live on the top, and they're kind of trying to harness and do progressive technology while the underside languishes and basically it's an allegory for like crack or something. There's like a drug problem that's sweeping the whole entire thing, and they're letting like this whole area just fucking get overrun with crime.
There's class issues.
Yeah,
there's magic versus science versus the elders. There's and then unexpected character arcs and where they end up. There's a dude that's like Emperor Palpatine who's fucking great. It's just so good. I can't wait to watch the last 2 episodes.
It reminds me of like an anime in how it like the story is all constructed.
Yeah,
but it has an American sensibility though, which makes it more theatrical. And so it kind of blends really well. I'm like very impressed by this. I did not expect to like this. So I don't know if it's actually good. I just was expecting nothing.
Yeah.
And I was like, and it just started to hit on every single cylinder.
The story, the intrigue is top notch. Like the story will suck you in.
So if this doesn't, to me, I think this is probably the most exciting thing that I've seen.
Wow. Wow.
Like in the past few months.
Wow. All right.
Yeah.
All right. What else did you watch, Ruggs? Give me another one.
I watched the new Masters of the Universe.
Okay. Part 2 is out. I've only watched the first episode. And at the end of that, he savages out. No surprise.
I watched the whole thing.
How was it?
And
better? Did it help?
I think it does help. Yes.
Okay.
I don't know if it redeems it 100%, but it does help to a degree.
Does he stick the landing on this, or is there going to be more?
Well, I think that if you look at it as a collective whole, like instead of 2 pieces, It works much better.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I got to get through that. On Disney Plus, they have Peter Jackson's 3-part docuseries about the Beatles, the Get Back sessions. I've watched they're really long. The first episode's like 2.5 hours. The second episode's 3 hours. It's like over 6 hours of shit. I watched the first episode. Ruggs, did you watch how many did you watch?
I watched the first 2 and I can't wait to watch the third.
So this thing is amazing. This is hours of unseen footage.
I mean, it is a lot.
It's a lot. Part of it, you might get bored, but if you are a huge Beatles fan, it's literally like you are hanging out with them as they have to, in 2 weeks, come up, rehearse, and write 14 songs for this live show.
It's insane. What they've done to themselves is insane. Because Ringo Starr, the drummer, he's got to leave to go fucking shoot a movie.
Yeah, he's shooting a movie in the meantime.
Right?
Yes.
And they wanted to put something out, and they have this block of time.
Yeah.
And they're not getting along.
They're
And
bickering constantly.
They're trying to do like 5 things at once, right? They're trying to make a movie, a documentary,
an album.
They're trying to film this. They're trying to,
New
and then
songs.
they're gonna have to, and they have to get them. And it's like,
That's crazy.
What band? What band would want to do this?
It's crazy.
And so you see kind of all these sycophants that are in there. You see fucking John and Yoko,
and they're right next to him every shot.
And John's strung out on heroin and fucking people. You know, Ringo's probably fucking strung out
George
too.
doesn't want to be
He's
there.
nodding up. Yeah, and then you got Paul, who's trying to take charge and get something done because their manager is dead.
Yeah, and they didn't get a new manager. They decide to manage themselves, and I think that was a lot of what happened.
And so there's all of this, like, kind of like, there's all this tension, and
you feel it.
How the fuck are these people? Yeah. How are they going to get their shit together?
And so we know, here's the thing. If you are any Beatles fan, we know they end up on the top of a building in London doing this concert. Right now, they're going day by day, and then there's in the studio, and every episode, every so often, they're like, the acoustics aren't really good in here. Where are we going to do this? Are we really doing this here? This one guy keeps pushing them to go to fucking Libya in an amphitheater, and they're all like, we're not going anywhere. The fuck is wrong with you? So I'm fascinated to find out how they end up at the top of this building and not where they are.
They keep going, like, changing their minds. They're like, we can't do this. It's just crazy. And I can't even believe that they even make it to the roof, because at this point in time, in the second part of the documentary, like, they have maybe a week left, and they have maybe 4 songs that they kind of know.
Yes.
How you make a concert with 4 songs?
I know what's great is they're workshopping these songs, and I know these songs intimately. The recorded versions I've listened to many times. It's fascinating to hear them develop and how things were dropped and where they come.
The question that I have when I was watching this is that it seems like they're doing a lot of stuff from Abbey Road in here. Am I right or am I wrong?
Some of them are old songs, but a lot of them are new songs. I don't know. It may have crossed over because the records were recorded in a different order. They were released. Some of them at the end, I forget.
So they probably recorded a shitload of stuff here, and then went back and probably touched shit up after this session to make Abbey Road and the other album, and probably stitched them together.
Here's the craziest thing. It's on Disney Plus, and there's 2 things I've never seen or heard that they do on Disney Plus. They let them swear. First of all, there's full F words on Disney Plus, and I've never heard the Beatles just say fuck and shit and be real people. That fucking blew me away.
They let them smoking weed.
Yes, they let them fucking smoke weed, say fuck. This is a big release on Disney Plus. So
getting drunk,
you know, as far as their platform,
that's good, though.
Yeah, that's great. I never thought, you know, they're talking about R-rated shit on this platform. They put it, it's in a documentary. They allowed it to go out.
Now, Anthony, as a millennial, where do the Beatles, do they even interest you, or did they have any impact on you?
I have friends that really, enjoy the Beatles. I know about their impact, but I have no care in the world to listen to any of their music. All I know, the only song that I can even think of off the top of my head is The Yellow Submarine.
Oh my God, that's the worst song. Jesus fucking Christ. They just wrote that just to give Ringo something to sing.
Right.
here's the thing also. When
you never trust Yoko Ono or whatever her name is.
She does some wailing in this. It's really annoying. You just want to shut her up.
But yeah, I mean, I have really no relationship
Listen,
with the
Beatles to this day, this is an amazing band that has made fucking timeless classics. It's songs that were always supposed to exist. The staying power, the fact that these songs are still great, and it's crazy that only Paul and Ringo are alive, that they're still alive. It almost seems like a mythology. I love the Beatles, and I still think most of the shit is amazing and will stand the test of time forever.
The great thing about it is the reason it's impactful to me is like all of my music teachers growing up were like huge fans. Like this was this shit when they were growing up. They're obsessed with it. So they would tell all of these stories about, they lived through the time and all the stories that were in the paper and all that stuff. And all the rumors about the death of Paul McCartney and this and that. All of these fucking you play the record backwards. It does this, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So there was like a lot of fucking legendary shit like around. It was like almost like that they were like not even real people.
No, they took over the world like in a few years, just global.
But I never actually liked their music. All right. Until recently, I became really into them. Like I'm talking about like maybe the past 10 years.
Okay.
Where it just became very evident to me that, oh shit, like they really can, there's not one genre where they haven't like brushed upon.
Yeah, there's magic. There's magic in those songs.
There's so much shit that just seems that like even progressions in music and just ideas for things and all the different like ways of timing and I was watching this
melodies,
thing. They have this
chord
thing.
Progressions, yeah.
They have this thing on Paul McCartney with the guy. What's his name?
Rick Rubin. Right. Yeah.
Where they like isolate his bass lines.
Yeah.
And they're fucking insane.
But a lot of the music is also very straightforward and simple. Here's the thing, right? The beauty of the Beatles is I've been a fan since I was a kid. We had the Beatles Past Masters Volume 1 and 2 on cassette tape, and me and my sister wore that out. We listened to it over and over again. And then when I started playing guitar, I learned a lot of the Beatles songs and got to appreciate them on a deeper level. A lot of the music is very straightforward. But it was towards the end of their career after Brian Epstein died when they stopped touring. They started fucking around with tape loops and backwards things and a lot of studio things. And in this documentary, what they have to do is go back. They can't do any overdubs. They are planning to record this live, play it live, and that's the record. No overdubbing, no putting tracks on top of tracks that they were used to. So that I find is fascinating.
What they did.
A little bit, but it definitely, the Get Back album has more of a stripped down, raw rock and roll feel, 4-person rock and roll band than the previous stuff that was very experimental. But I love all of it, dude. I've always loved the Beatles, always will.
Let me give you my equivalent of something where I wasn't alive when they were, or like was barely coherent when they were popular, but I still really enjoyed them growing up as a kid. Would be my equivalent would be Michael Jackson.
Okay,
which is weird to say now.
No, he's fucking again another guy,
still a legend.
Still a legend. We'll never see anybody else like him, and great music catalog. You know?
Yeah, that would be my equivalent of like old, like little. I wasn't actually alive in the prime or of
that's a good analogy because that would have been as big as the Beatles were.
But it was but it was played for me, and I gravitated towards it even as a kid.
Well, it's another guy. You could hold up his picture, Michael Jackson's picture, anywhere on this planet, and the person would be like, "That's Michael Jackson."
Well, it depends on what picture.
Well, it does depend on what picture. What year Michael Jackson? You have to have a bunch of them. This is all the same person.
It might be a little difficult.
Yeah, it's a good point.
It was weird because, like, when growing up and kind of being exposed to the Beatles and not really being fond of them, but then later on in life, kind of realizing that they've been a part of my life. Yeah. Like you hear it all the time, you just don't know it's them all the time. Like there's like they were just using Beatles for the Justice League.
Yeah,
the Come Together, right?
Come Together.
They just had that. Yeah. They just had that in the trailer. And that's the Beatles.
I mean, for
like, you know what I mean?
One band have written Let It Be and Hey Jude that's kind of crazy. Like those are two amazing fucking songs that will be around forever. Anyways, check that out. I think it's great if you're a Beatles fan or want to get into the Beatles more. You will enjoy being a fly on the wall on these sessions. They're going day by day. Okay,
it's crazy.
Last thing I want to recommend, I know Ruggs watched this too, a charming kind of throwback Christmas movie on HBO Max. My sister actually was like, you should watch this. It's called 8-Bit Christmas. And Ruggs, you nailed it earlier when we were talking about this. Essentially, it stars Neil Patrick Harris, and he's telling the story to his daughter. Neil Patrick Harris is about my age. He's telling his daughter the story of getting his first Nintendo Entertainment System. So the whole movie is a flashback, takes place in the 80s. And essentially, Ruggs, what you said is true. It is Christmas Story done, now looking back at the 80s as opposed to looking back.
Yeah, it's the Christmas Story. It's the same thing. It's like Red Ryder BB gun, you got Nintendo.
It's so charming, and it's such a great throwback kind of 80s kids adventure movie. It has all like the character tropes, all the same beats, but I really kind of I enjoyed it. Steve Zahn plays his dad in the flashbacks, and he's great as the father.
Yeah,
but I thought they captured the spirit of like an 80s movie with this.
I like that the mom called it Nintendo.
Yes, because they could never figure the name out. You're gonna get. What about this Nintendo?
What's about Nintendo?
There's the great bit where like this one kid on the block has it, and he's this rich asshole, and he only picks kids show up at his door, and he picks 10 people to come in, and they don't even get to play it. They get to watch him play the fucking thing because he's an asshole. It's so funny, and like shit like that happened though. There was the one kid on the block who always had the latest fucking video game system.
I knew a kid who had the Nintendo, and nobody liked this fucking kid, but everybody was over his house to play Nintendo.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say his name.
And then the great part where when the Power Glove comes out and they realize that it's actually a piece of shit and it's dumb. They're so disappointed.
Oh, the Power Glove
so
was
good.
a complete
It's so good. 8-Bit Christmas is great. Great fucking.
It was all right.
I loved it. Anyways.
I didn't love it. I thought it was all right.
If you're looking for a fun Christmas movie, check it out. All right, that's it. Enough bullshit. Ruggs, where can the people find you online?
You can find me on Twitter at ReallyRugBoy.
Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Check the show notes, jockandnerd.com/410 for links to everything we talked about, how to get in touch, how to say subscribe, how to join our Patreon fan club. Thanks for listening to the Jock and Nerd podcast. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's the nerd.
We'll peep you next time. Share the show, listener.
It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, that's really good.
I really don't give a shit.
Let me tell you about Tony, all right? Tony ruins lives.
I stick it up my asshole.